Okay, so in that case, the vocabulary, the language which gives the vocabulary would become the lexifier, which is going to be English, and the language which is giving the grammatical structure, and which in this example is Pashto, would be substrate, right? Clear? Or do I need to explain these terms once again? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
It's clear.
Okay, good. Like even for example in Pashto, if you're saying something and there is a Pashto word and you change it, like concept of generalization in sociolinguistics, which is teacheran. Now teacher is English word, but you add teacheran to that, right? So teacheran is actually the grammar inflection of that, and the word vocabulary is actually from English. Are you clear? Teacheran. This, though this comes in generalization, it is not the part of Pigeon, but in order to just explain it to you how it works, I have given this example. Okay, coming towards attitudes, as I've already discussed, that attitudes, there's no such attitude, positive or negative, towards these languages. So these are the three important points which are uh, which um, which are there when we talk about Pigeon languages. That is, it is restricted to domains and functions. I've already discussed that. It has a simplified structure compared to the source languages, means that because its functions are limited, so therefore it has simple functions, simple sentences, and it has no complex sentences or structures. And it generally has low prestige or attracts negative attitudes, especially from outsiders. It means the people who are speaking that language, they don't have any attitudes as positive or negative towards that, because they're just using that language. However, where people who are outsiders, they have negative attitude towards Pidgin. For example, if another Pashto speaker or English speaker comes and we are speaking that Pidgin, and Pidgin means we are using English and Pashto both, they will have negative attitude towards that language, as which we are speaking as Pidgin. Okay, can anyone tell me what is Creole? Though Fahim already elaborated, but
Ma'am,
yes,
when a pigeon is extended,
yes,
new vocabularies are added,
mm,
and the native speakers are produced.
that becomes, yes,
That become a Creole.
yes.
A
The three.
pigeon has no
Mm,
a pigeon has no native speaker, but a Creole has native speaker.
yes, very good. So, it when it comes to Creole, Creole is uh, when Pigeon is, when Pigeon has native speakers, then it becomes Creole. It has the 3 points that we discussed in Pigeon. These 3 points changes, means that the first point, which is it has the domains and the function changes, means the domains are increased. The range in which Creole is used is increased, means it is not only used for the trade purpose, but maybe at home or maybe in other domains. So it changes as a Creole, and native speakers are developed, as well as the language is more structured, and more features are added to the language. And if previously there were only tenses used, or three tenses, or one tense used, or inflections were different, then more complex inflections are added, or more structures are added to the grammar is developed in that language. And that is why we call that is why it is considered as a Creole language. And it can only happen because it has become the language of a native I mean it has native speakers. That is why there is this complex structures developing in that in Creole. And it is obvious that when a language is spoken for some time, uh, there are going to be native speakers of that native speakers of that language. And when there are native speakers of a language, and they are constantly speaking one language, there is development in that language. Okay. um, the process which with which the language, the pigeon becomes Creole, is called creolization, which we have already discussed. That is these 3-4 steps, um, which I have just discussed. That would become that is the process of creolization. Why are all of you coming late to the class? Okay. Coming towards attitude. Okay, so as I've discussed before, that when there is this with pigeon, it's like we don't have any such attitudes, positive attitudes towards pigeon. But when this pigeon becomes Creole, there are native speakers, and when there are native speakers of that language, it's obvious that the attitudes towards Creole are developed. And when attitude towards Creole of the native speakers is normally positive, because that's their own language that they are speaking, right? However, it may happen that the other people may have negative attitude towards that language. It varies. It may not be 100% the case that everyone has negative attitude towards that language. Means outsiders have negative attitude towards that language, but um, a majority people have positive attitude. The people who are speaking that Creole have positive attitude towards that language. What's the reason? The reason is that it is their own language. That is why it is considered as they have positive attitude towards that language. And because there are, it's not necessary that in that community only one language is spoken, but other languages are also spoken there. And it might be the case that if there is any prestigious language, or a language which is more higher in the status from the Creole, then uh, it's obvious, because Creole is just a newly created, not created, but newly a new language in that region. And that is why the people who are speaking other languages in that community may have negative attitude towards that language. There are certain terminologies and that you need to understand when it comes to uh, Creole, is that a Creole may, or a Creole may remain a lower variety in a certain region, along with that of the high variety, as I've just given you the example that there are other people living already over there. And it may happen that it is considered as a low variety, and the other people are already using the high variety, or the language which is already uh, a standard um, a standard language, right? When a Creole is used side by side with the standard variety in a community where social barriers are not inseparable, features of the Creole tend to change in the direction of the standard variety. And this process is called decreolization. Means D means it's decreasing, it's not there. So the process is reversed. How is it reversed? Because already there is a high variety, and people start thinking negative about that, negative attitude. So what happens is that the people who are using Creole, they change the features of the language to that of the high variety. So I'll give you, how can I explain it to you? Okay, let me give you the example of Pashto, and English. So let's suppose English is the high variety and Pashto is the low variety, right? And these two languages are spoken, and sorry, these two languages. Then there is this pigeon created with these two languages, and then that pigeon becomes the Creole. Now, the people who are English speakers, they are still here, and and the people who are using this a newly created Creole is they feel that in order to gain go for monetary gains, or maybe people have negative attitude towards that, or majority are speaking English, so the features of the Creole slowly and gradually change towards English, and it is more, inclined towards English. And with the passage of time, then this process is called and it changes to almost, nearly to English. This change in this process is called decreolization. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay. um we have this uh the in such cases, then we have in Creoles is when there is this high variety from which this Creole is more near to or is similar to, then we call it acrolect. And if it is uh, if it is close to the uh, Creole, which is not very standard variety spoken in that region, then we call it Beselect, which means deep Creole, or it's also called deep Creole. Or if it is not the case of both, though there is this similarity with both varieties, and then we call it Mesolect, or the intermediate variety. Are you clear, or should I give you examples? Are you clear about, acrolate, baselect, and mesolects? Is it clear?
Ma'am, give us some example.
Sorry, explain. Okay, explain. Um, see, for example, I'll give you the same example of Pashto and Pashto and English. So for example, if there is this high or standard language spoken in that region, and that standard in Creole is more closing towards the high variety, which is um, uh, which is English, then it is we call it acrolate, because it's the high variety and more words, more vocabulary are coming towards that, and it's more inclined towards even going towards grammar, towards English. So then we call it as acrolate, right? If that Creole is moving more towards um, uh, um, moving more towards the low variety, then it is base select or deep Creole. And it, for example, let's suppose um, English is adding things from Creole, and so it's like mixing it up. Then it becomes the base select, means the deep Creole, because it is more dominant in that region. That is why it is taking more words from that. And then if there is, it's the mixture of both, means it's if it is happening towards the both ways, equally happening towards both ways, then we call it mesolect, or the intermediate variety. Clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. I
Ma'am, I
guess.
have a question.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, as we said that
Yes.
Pigeon is a contact language which was created. And
Yes.
initially it was used for a structured function, and then its vocabulary was simplified. Then it converted to Creole.
Hmm.
It got native speakers and its vocabulary became complex. And later on, it was used for wider purposes. So, ma'am, my
Yes.
question is that Urdu also went to the same process. Initially,
Yes.
Urdu was created and it had no native speakers.
Yes.
Uh, we know that there are,
It is a it was a Creole. It is like I don't exactly remember, but I guess it was Lashkari Zaman, something like that.
yes, ma'am,
Yeah.
Foj,
Yes,
uh,
Lashkari Zaman.
in
Yes,
Urdu, it is
yes.
called Lashkari Zaban.
Yes.
So, ma'am, could we apply these terms for Urdu that Urdu also
Urdu
went to the
was,
same stages?
yes, yes, exactly, exactly. It was. Yes. It was a Creole. It is a Creole. But now, see, it has native speakers, just the way it had before.
Yes, ma'am.
We can say that. Yes, we can.
Clear,
Okay,
ma'am.
good. Okay, I guess we are done with this chapter. I'm left with one more chapter. I wanted to do it today, but I guess this is our second link, and I'm left with 6 minutes here in this session. If you have any question, please ask, and I'll request you all to give me half or 1 hour um, of, like, in the coming weekdays, so then I'll take one more lecture. Right, then you people can decide accordingly.
Okay, ma'am.
Right, because this national languages and language planning is very easy. I guess we have new students here in this class, that is from batch 6, and there was this question in this in their exam as well, I guess in entry test, about language planning. So this this will also answer that question, means we are going to discuss that. It's this chapter is, it would only take 30 minutes, not more than that. Right, any questions so far?
Ma'am, can you scroll up the page where decrealization is being discussed?
Okay,
I ask
have a
question there.
question. Okay,
Yes.
was it here?
No, ma'am. Just scroll it up.
Okay.
Yes, maybe the post Creole continuum, is it the result of decrealization?
Where is it?
Go down, ma'am.
Down, down, down.
Where you have highlighted the decrealization in the post Creole continuum.
Where is it?
This
This one?
no, ma'am. This one, ma'am.
What is wrong with this system? I have highlighted it. This one?
No, ma'am.
Oh god, can you please tell me the page number?
The next page, ma'am. The next page.
Page after this?
This one.
No, no,
This
no,
one.
no.
This one, ma'am. This one, ma'am.
The same page, this one? Maybe because maybe you receive it late, or maybe or something like that. Okay, ask me the question, I'll answer.
This one is the. Ma'am, my question was that is the post Creole continuum, is it the result of decrealization?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay. So
Yes,
then this then can we call the acrolect as the decreolized variety or decreolization?
yes, you can call it yes, you can call it.
Okay.
Yes, any other question? Any other question? You people are
Ma'am, I
writing
think
in
so.
text messages. Who is saying this applied linguistics class? Why do you people want all classes like this? Sir, sir is already taking your class, right? Let me stop recording.